Now that brings us to the next topic for discussion, where the passage of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill by both chambers of the National Assembly recently continues to generate commentaries amongst Nigerians. This is particularly as the federal lawmakers heeded public demand for the electronic transmission of electoral results in the new act. Perhaps the most controversial aspect is that of the direct primaries, which the lawmakers overwhelmingly voted in favor of. With this development, every registered member of any political party now has a say in who becomes the candidate of his party across all layers of government, provided President Muhammadu Buhari signed the bill into law. The governors, meanwhile, are not happy about this development. The All Progressives Governors Forum, PGF, launched a fresh tirade against National Assembly members, labeling them product of the same indirect primary. They are now jettisoned. They want to jettison for primary, for direct primaries, rather. Now, first of all, is it legal, or should I use the word, is it fair for the National Assembly to pronounce a particular kind of primaries for all parties? I thought it's supposed to be different parties for how they want to run the primaries.
Of course, I'm not a fan of the National Assembly. The way it is presently constituted. But looking at the current political realities of Nigeria, this is really what we need to cause a revolution in democratic process. The good thing about direct primaries is that it's going to get a lot more people involved in the process. This idea of lack of internal democracy in the political parties, this is likely going to be able to reduce that problem and get a lot more Nigerians to be involved in the process. What we are having now is really more like a court kind of arrangement, where the governor sits down with his, because of the power, the financial muscle the governor possesses, they determine who represents the party. And so I'm not surprised, for example, that you can see that the members of the House of the National Assembly are fully in support of this, because they know that the governors are really the ones that control the political structure. Because of the money, they have all the state funds in their, that they can deploy. And so this is more like a fight between the governors and the National Assembly. But beyond that, there is a sense in having direct primaries in Nigeria at this point in time. Because, like I said, we need to get more Nigerians involved in the political process. And one way to do that is to start within the political parties, so you can have internal democracy. I've never been known to be, well, I can say I'm a member of a political party now, but I've never been known to be involved in any political development. But tomorrow, in 2023, I can decide to go to my village and say, look, I want to be involved, I want to get elected. With direct primaries, if I can mobilize my people, if my people know me for action in terms of, taking care of their welfare, then they will elect me through the primaries, with or without some political governance in the system. So this is what the kind of revolution that this can cause. Okay, but of course I must appreciate that there are issues, of course, with the process, the logistics of this whole thing. It's going to involve a lot more money, because you need to appeal to the people. But I think that's a sacrifice we have to make if we really want to get more people involved in politics in Nigeria. If we want to ensure that the political process is most of the cases on elections in this country, almost all the governorship elections in this country, there has always been an issue of the political party bringing in somebody or substituting somebody at the dying minute. All of that will be a thing of the past if everybody, will be involved in the process. So for me, whilst I appreciate that this is more like a political power tussle between two groups, those who think they are not powerful enough to influence the indirect primary process, which are the National Assembly members, and those who feel they have the power, which are the governors. But behind all of this, looking at the political realities of Nigeria, this is something that we need.
Zana,
yes.
Do you think direct primary is the best way to go?
Yes, let us see what actually was happening before. Before this bill, which has now been transmitted to the president for his assent, what was the position? The position was what they called indirect primaries. And that position gave the governors and other political leaders the authority to select people as delegates. So you want to go for any position in politics today, you need
to know one person.
Yes, you need to know either the governor or a minister
Powers that
or
be.
what, all these political office holders. But this time around, members of the National Assembly, both in the opposition party and the governing party, they all came together as one man and said, no, we'll reject this indirect primary. And they gone for the direct primary. Not indirect, they say, we prefer direct. And that is in clause 87 of the new bill, which says, and I read, a political party seeking to nominate candidates for election under this bill shall hold direct primaries for aspirants to all elective positions, which shall be monitored by the commission, that is the INEC. This wasn't the case before. The governors will sit with their clique of ministers and whatever and pick somebody. But with this new law now,
INEC will be involved.
INEC will be involved. They will monitor. You can come from any, once you're a party member, you can go in and fight for election for any position. This was not the case before. And all the party, opposition, the governing party, they all agreed. They fought against the governors in this particular case. And I think it's a good development so far that in seeking for political offices, you can now go for direct primary instead of indirect, where the governors and their clique will always determine.
Now, let me throw a little curveball into this discussion now. The president has not assented it, which means it has not officially, is not officially a law. Now, can the governors or any person fight the National Assembly about this, try to reverse it to indirect primary?
Of course,
I
can tell you for free that even as we speak now, the governors are trying to influence the president not to sign this. You know, if you look at this country, the biggest problem that we have in Nigeria, apart from the funny thing that they are doing now at the presidency, the governors are the biggest problems we have in this country. They always stand against anything that would threaten their so-called power. You know, they are failing to realize that power should ordinarily reside with the people. The people should decide who becomes what in the democratic process. And so they're going to fight it. And I can tell you that I'm sure right now they may be meeting with the president, meeting with chief of staff, meeting with attorney general, those who advise the president on whether to sign or not to sign this. They will be doing that because, you know, this is going to really destroy one thing that I must say is that if you are a good politician, this is the process that can still be managed, right? I mean, we know that they do this in the U.S. presidential election, for example, and we see that it usually comes down to eventually maybe like 2-3 people who will be vying across the country, and then they go to different states to try to get the nomination from those states, and then the whole thing is collated. So it can still be managed. It doesn't mean that anybody can just go there and say you want to. I mean, if you are not known, how are you going to? You understand? So, but you know, the governors will really fight this, and I hope that the president will this time around live up to his so-called talk about democracy. He wants to ensure that, you know, there's popular participation in the process. Maybe this can be one of the legacies that can be left by this government, because this is really very fundamental. And it's going to really upend, you know, the way and manner we are doing elections right now, and to get more people involved in the process. Because, you know, you have seen cases where people are members of political parties, they don't even know what is happening in the political party, because their views don't count. The views, the views of people that count will be the world leaders, whether it's unit or local government, at local government level, they also have leaders there at the state level. Those are the people that determine who will be delegates. So delegates are picked, you know, and delegates, because they are few, in some cases they lock them in rooms, pay them money, and in the process, you know. So this is really going to be revolutionary, and I don't see why they're not going to fight it. But I want to believe that, you know, since the National Assembly appears to be working very well with this present administration, the executive will reciprocate, you know, this time around by listening to them. This might be self-serving for them. They too want to fight. But, you know, in this fight, I want to take side with them, because this will benefit the country.
I think this is purely legal, in my own opinion. They have passed this bill that has been sent to the president for his assent, and they have said consistently, up to yesterday, They say if the president fails to assent to it,
Of course, that's
they will
another thing.
veto him. It's a very simple legal process. So the governors in this case, honestly, will fail. That's my own opinion. They will fail, definitely. It's purely legal. At the stage, the matter was still in the National Assembly. They could have done some lobbying. But even if they did it, they failed. So the stage in which this matter is now, the governors can do nothing other than
It's
maybe,
at an advanced stage.
maybe to lobby the president. But I don't think the president will be foolish enough to accede to that lobbying. If they fail, the National Assembly will veto him and it becomes law. As simple as that. So this time around, the governors will fail.
I mean, and there've also been situations where some party members have actually revolted against some list, you know.
We have seen different lists. In some elections, you see different lists. Some people go to their own coven, cook up their own list, and you have crises all over the place.
There is one other very important amendment that came into this very bill before the president now. If you remember, there was a time the National Assembly, when initially they mooted the idea of this electronic voting. Some people, majority of them were not happy with this. Some people were saying that before they transmit, they have to seek, that is that INEC should seek the permission of NCC. But with this amendment now, that one is in clause 52. They have now been properly, section 78 of the Constitution, which talks about the supervisory authority of INEC in election matters. You know, that section 78 says that the registration of voters and the conduct of the elections shall be subject to the direction and supervision of the Independent National Electoral Commission. Under that law, they said no. They wanted to circumvent it by saying in the old proposed amendment will fail. The INEC, they said that before INEC can transmit electronically, NCC must adjudge national coverage is adequate and secure, and NAS must approve. But this time now, they've thrown away that one now. The new law now is that they can transmit.
INEC has been given the full power,
full authority, but
yeah.
also by section 78 of the Constitution. So there's no question of anybody trying to say the card readers or electronic transmission.
There's still a problem with this proposed amendment.
Yes.
Because what they are saying is that INEC has the power to, determine how elections, which may include electronic. INEC has not been mandated to use electronic voting. So INEC still have the discretion to decide whether or not to use it, and politicians will still be able to manipulate the process. So I would have thought that they would give a direct mandate.
This idea originated from INEC. This idea of electronic transmission originated from INEC.
I would have thought that it should be
like a must.
It should be must.
Yes.
But this time around, it's an option. INEC can decide to, and politicians can complain and say, oh, in my local government there's no network, there's no this, we cannot. So at the end of the day, it will still be.
It is a good thing that INEC has, they have a long time to
plan.
And if the election in Anambra State, last week, as it were, it's more like a test run to what the election in 2023 is going to be like. I'm sure INEC could have seen some of the problems that they may likely encounter and have some time to fix that.